Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. It's always fun to check out momentum stocks with Mike Vodicka, our momentum stock analyst at Zacks.com, because those are the stocks that are on the rise and provide some interesting investing opportunity. Like American Capital Agency Corporation, AGNC, the ticker symbol. They operate a real estate investment trust.
Yeah, to expand on that a little bit, they invest in mortgage-backed securities.
Okay.
And just out of the chute, a natural response to that kind of business would be, hey, wait a second, mortgages
given what's going on today.
Yeah, exactly, with the housing market being weak and lots of mortgage defaults. But the qualifier for what this company does is they invest exclusively in agency-backed mortgage securities, which means the payments and the interest are both guaranteed by the U.S. government.
Oh, okay.
So they've kind of carved out like a nice little niche for themselves to give themselves some insulation from instability in the housing and the mortgage sectors.
Right.
It's not a huge company. They've only been around for a couple of years. They were founded in 2008, and their market cap is $530 million, so it's a small cap. But the small cappers tend to have more upward thrust anyway, so that's kind of consistent with what we see in the momentum segment. Mm-hmm. Moving forward a little bit, just recently at the end of July, they reported second quarter results, and they had solid income of $30 million, and more importantly, they had a nice dividend of $1.50. That's just one quarter.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, so they have a nice income generation. Since we've seen some stability in the housing market, it has affected their estimates picture. Their current year estimate is up really big over the last 3 months. It added $1.96, and it's at $4.52 per share. So we have solid estimate upward revision. And then moving on to the valuation conversation of the situation, they're trading at 6.5 times current year projected earnings, which would seem very low. I guess traditionally that would fall into a value category, but this isn't really a pure value play. I think the low valuation is a function of the market being a little bit tepid about the nature of their business, and because there is some variables involved there. Mm-hmm. So it does have a low valuation. And then, of course, last piece of the puzzle we like to talk about.
Yep.
The chart.
The chart.
That's right.
Show me the money.
Shares of American Capital Agency, they took off in early March with the overall market after bottoming out right about 14. And since then, recently, it hit a it wasn't a new 52-week high. It's a new 6-month high at 31. So again, it's doubled in just the last couple months. Nice gain right there.
I'm going to have to get a drum roll or something in here when we go to the chart.
That's right. It's a big moment.
Here's an interesting name for a company, given what's going on in the world, or in the United States these days anyway. Universal Healthcare Services, UHS, the ticker symbol. Seems to fit right in with all of the talk about nationalized.
It is.
Healthcare. It's
very relevant to the political conversation, and it's also relevant to what's happening in the private sector, where these healthcare companies are experiencing really strong demand for their products and services. This definitely falls into line in that category. Basically what this company does is they run healthcare facilities. There's two different kinds. They do acute care hospitals. They have 26 of those, and then they also do behavioral health centers.
Okay.
And they have over 100 of those. So they have a decent number of facilities. It's a bigger company, $2.5 billion market cap. So that's about a mid cap right there. They've been around since 1978, so they have a fairly nice history here. But kind of getting back to what I was saying before, though, this is really just a pure play on healthcare, healthcare services, which again, we kind of have an aging population. The baby boomers are moving into retirement now. They're putting more demand into the healthcare system, so it's a solid healthcare play.
You expected me to make a crack about that behavioral healthcare segment. Not me. I'm not going down that road.
I hear you. But getting into their second quarter results at the end of July, the company produced year-over-year sales growth, which is something we've talked about here in Momentum, and that's fairly unique in this environment. Lots of companies are growing earnings year over year, but to see the top line growth is kind of unique. And then, of course, they had the nice beat on the earnings side. They produced $1.44, so 31 cents ahead of the Zacks consensus estimate.
Okay.
Estimates are also up. Of course, current year is up, and then the valuation picture looks pretty solid too.
Yep.
Trading at 13.5 times current year, so it's discounted to the market, which is nice, and we have growth in there too. And then, of course, what's next? We have the last piece is the chart. The chart. Exactly. Kind of the same story before, is that shares bottomed out in early March, and since then they've doubled. They've gone from 30 to just about 63, and that's a new 52-week high, so they're on a roll.
All right. You're enjoying this a little too much, let me tell you. Do you own either of these two?
No, I don't.
All right, check out other Zacks Rank By stock pick ideas on our homepage at Zacks.com, especially if you are watching this video off of our homepage. In the upper right-hand corner is where we update those Zacks Rank Buys for you each day. 4 new ones for you to consider Monday through Friday. I should say every business day because sometimes there's a holiday. With Mike Vodicka, I'm Terry Ruffalo.